Sometimes you look at a group stage match on paper and you think you know exactly how it's going to go. Well, forget all of that. Today, we're diving into a T20 World Cup game that completely ripped up the script and turned into one of the most intense nail-biters you'll ever see. I mean, this quote from Ball Bless Sports just says it all, doesn't it? They called it a 3-hour hostage situation. When a sports writer says that, you know something truly wild went down. This wasn't just a game. For England, this was about pure survival. So, let's set the scene. Picture this: Mumbai's iconic Wankhede Stadium. You've got England, the kings of Bazball, famous for their hyper-aggressive style. And in the other corner, you have Nepal, the Rhinos, coming in with a ton of heart and nothing to lose. It had all the makings of a classic David versus Goliath story. And this is really where the story begins, the massive gap between what should have happened and what actually did. On paper, England's squad of superstars should have steamrolled them, but the crowd in Mumbai, they had other plans. Those Nepal chants were so deafening, it felt less like a neutral ground and more like a home game in Kathmandu. Okay, so let's get into the nitty-gritty, starting with England's time to bat. Their plan was simple: come out, score a mountain of runs, and put the game to bed early. Yeah, that plan hit a wall almost immediately. You literally cannot make this stuff up. For Nepal, it's the stuff of dreams. For England, a total nightmare. Sharmala, on his T20 international debut, gets a wicket with his very first ball. Just like that, England's aggressive Bazball approach was tossed right out the window, replaced by what our source hilariously called, "please don't get out ball." So, after that early shock, you can imagine the tension in the English camp. The pressure fell squarely on the shoulders of the senior guys, Jacob Bethell and the captain, Airee Brook. It was their job now to stop the bleeding and somehow try to fight back. And boy, did Bethell fight back. He basically looked at the situation and said, "All right, enough of this." His 55 runs weren't just about scoring, they were a statement. Especially one massive six that just rocketed into the second tier of the stadium. You could literally feel the momentum start to shift right then and there. And of course, you can't forget the captain's knock. Airee Brook's 53 wasn't the prettiest innings, but man, was it gritty. Under that kind of intense pressure, it was exactly the tough, stubborn performance they needed to avoid a complete and total disaster. But here's the thing. Even with that partnership, England was still on track for a pretty average total. And then, Will Jacks walked out. His little cameo at the end wasn't just batting. One source called it violence. He just smashed 4 huge sixes and completely changed the entire feel of the innings. So, England gets to 184. It's a defendable score, for sure. But it was absolutely nowhere near the demolition job everyone predicted. And honestly, that's a massive credit to Nepal's bowlers, especially guys like Dipendra, Singh, Airee, who ended up with fantastic figures of 2 for 23. All right, so that was just Act 1, but you're gonna wanna stick around because Act 2, Nepal's chase, this is where things go from interesting to completely insane. The Rhinos came out charging, and they were ready to make history. With 185 to defend and a world-class bowling attack at their disposal, this should have been a pretty straightforward win for England from here, right? Oh, so wrong. Nepal's opener Kushal Bethell came out and just decided to fight fire with fire. He immediately goes after England's big gun, Jofra Archer, and smokes him for a 6. That single shot sent a message loud and clear through the whole stadium. We are not intimidated by you. And if Bethell sent a message, this man, Lokesh Bam, delivered the haymaker. He walks in with a required rate soaring above 12 and over, a point where most batters would just crumble. His response? To basically laugh and then proceed to dismantle Jofra Archer, hitting him for 2 consecutive sixes. A true people's champion was born. And after all that chaos, it all came down to this. The Wankhede Stadium was absolutely shaking. The noise was deafening. 10 runs needed to win, 6 balls left. One single over to decide the fate of both teams. This right here is what our sources perfectly call the 4-run heart attack. So let's break down this final nerve-shredding over, ball by agonizing ball. Okay, Sam Curran has the ball. First delivery, it's a dot. 10 needed from 5. The tension is unbelievable. Then, Bam hits it, there's an easy single there, and he refuses to run. The sheer confidence to back himself to win it. Unbelievable. 10 from 4. The next ball is 2 runs. 8 from 3. Then a single gets him off strike. Oh no. Now the 5th ball. A huge swing and a miss. It all comes down to the final delivery. 7 runs to win. The final ball is hit and it races away for 4. 4 runs. That was the final margin. You look at the England players, they aren't celebrating. They just look relieved. They survived, but only by the absolute skin of their teeth. And Nepal, just heartbreakingly close to a historic victory. So, after all that drama, what's the big takeaway? Who was the real winner here? Let's look a little deeper than just the final score. I love this. The player ratings from Ball Blast really tell the whole story. Will Jacks gets a 9 out of 10 because, let's be honest, he's the only reason England had a competitive score. Jofra Archer gets a tough 4 out of 10 after getting bullied. Lokesh Bam, a perfect 10, the people's champion. And my favorite one, the crowd gets an 11 out of 10 for turning this game into an unforgettable spectacle. So here's the crucial point. England didn't really win this match. Nepal simply ran out of time. This was a massive wake-up call for the English team, a real brown pants moment that exposed a pace attack that looked totally toothless against some fearless, aggressive hitting. And that really leaves us with a fascinating question to think about. When you see so-called associate nations like Nepal playing with this much skill and this much heart, it makes you wonder, are these kinds of near upsets and potential giant killings not just a fluke anymore, but maybe, just maybe, the very future of international cricket?